My name is Summer, or on Instagram, Summer's Pilates, and I've decided to make a video kind of touching on some basic principles of Pilates. So I think when we're in our Pilates classes, sometimes you can be so caught up in the movement of what's happening that we don't really think about those little intricate things that are being told to us. So, for example, some pelvic stability, rib cage stability, scapular alignment to our shoulders, making sure that they're in the right place. And then, of course, just following the alignment of the spine. So that includes the neck, our cervical spine, through the thoracic spine, mid-back, into our lumbar spine, which is the lower section. And then that connects to the pelvis. So when we're off, So what tends to happen is if one of our sections or one of our Pilates principles is off, let's say that your pelvis isn't in its right alignment or it's wobbling around when we're doing an exercise, then that naturally is going to mean that your spine is out of alignment, your rib cage is out of alignment, and then your neck is out of alignment. Because the pelvis connects to the spine, which connects to the rib cage, which connects to the neck, which is part of the spine. Okay, so it's really just important to make sure that we're doing everything safely, because Pilates is not just a physical workout, it's also an alignment exercise, right? Where we're doing everything for a purpose and for a reason. If you listen to these alignment cues in your Pilates classes, it's going to help you in the studio and outside of the studio, which is huge. It's going to help you be in your proper alignment with everything that's thrown your way during your daily life. So enough chit chat, let's get started. You guys are going to just start by laying on your back, rolling yourself right down, okay? So we're going to start just by rocking your pelvis forward and back. Rocking the pelvis forward and back. Now I want you to just kind of feel if you're using your glutes to push, which is natural. Naturally, when we want to flatten the spine, it's easier for us to just push with our legs, right, and tuck the pelvis up. But I really want you to try to think about pulling your abs so deep towards your spine that it's naturally pulling your back flat against that floor. So ready? Go back to your neutral spine, your natural curve. And then exhale, pull those abs so deep that that's what's pulling your back against the floor. So this right here is how we get into our proper imprint position. So whenever you're doing ab workouts and your legs are up at a tabletop position, it's really smart to have a flat back or an imprinted spine until we build enough strength to be able to keep the natural curve of the spine. But we want to make sure that we're going into it from the proper muscle group. So if we're going into it from our glute strength, it's not going to be as solid of an imprint as if we go from our abdominal strength. So really try that a couple of times and start feeling the difference between using your glutes and just using your abs. Okay, that's step one. That's really, really important. Okay, the next thing, I want you guys to lay down and take your feet flat to the floor, about a parallel distance, so about 4 inches away, okay? And then from here, I want you to think about stitching your rib cage together. So when it comes to our abdominal strength and our abdominal connection, it's not just pulling your abs in that work your abs. Because if you're just doing an ab workout and you're like sucking in here, that's just sucking in. That's not contracting. That's not activating, okay? So this took me a really long time to understand how to do. So please don't feel bad if you didn't know this, because I didn't know for so long. Even through my Pilates training, it took me a while to really grasp how to do this. So the first thing you're going to do is take a big inhale. And on your exhale, imagine that I came over and I'm stitching your ribcage together, pulling those ribs closer towards each other, okay? Then from there, once those ribs are pulled in, that's when you draw your belly button deeper towards the spine. So it's not only a suck in, it's a combination of pulling those ribs in, but then also pulling the abs down. And then as you can feel, that's gonna bring your spine closer to the floor like we talked about before. So it's that whole connection. So once you know how to do that, then once we start adding our arms to different stuff in Pilates, like reaching the arms past your head, we don't want the rib cage to move. So as those arms reach, your rib cage really should not lift at all, and then the arms come back down, and ideally there should be no change. I'm still perfecting it, so my rib cage moves a little still, but what tends to happen is when your arms come up, this is what happens. Your rib cage wants to reach with it, right? And then the arms go back and your rib cage is open and you're sucking your belly in. But guess what? You just lost all abdominal connection. And then when those arms come back down, you have to start over and activate your abs. Whereas if you keep that engagement, reach your arms past your head, and then pull your arms back down, you're already in proper form, ready for that, ready for the next workout, okay? So just a couple times trying to bring your arms over your head and then down by your sides without moving the rib cage. That is super important. And right now, I feel such an ab burn because my abs are engaged, holding my rib cage in place. That's the other thing that is really important, is your rib cage is connected to, or your abdominals are connected to your rib cage, right? So, and the same with the pelvis, your abdominals are connected to your pelvis. So the more that you activate the abs and the more that you hold them in towards your spine, the easier it's going to be for things like your pelvis and your rib cage and your spine to stay in place. Our abdominals actually really help us with our alignment. We just have to really understand how to use them properly, which is why I wanted to do this video, because I think it could be really helpful to some of you. And not to mention, this isn't just for Pilates. You know, this alignment stuff will help you with any type of training that you're doing, any type of workout, even if you just go to the gym and run and do some ab exercises on the mats. These are foundational alignment things that are going to help you not only obviously stay healthy and stay in your proper form and make sure that we're not causing injury, but it's also going to help you feel your muscles a little bit deeper, which is, I think, what we want. If you're going to an hour workout class, wouldn't you rather be getting an hour worth of muscle burn rather than maybe 50% worth of muscle burn just because we weren't aligning ourselves properly? I think so, yeah. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is your toes, pointing and flexing the toes. So this is so important. And I just want to explain quick. I'm sorry if this feels very self-explanatory, but sometimes I think people get a little confused. So when we're in any type of workout, but especially Pilates, we talk about pointing and flexing our toes a lot, okay? So when we say flex, it's not just, I know that yoga has like open toes where you kind of like half flex back, but that's not Pilates. So in Pilates, you want to be flexing more from your ankle. So I want you to think about shrinking the top of your ankle, bringing your foot closer towards your shin. So bring the top of the foot closer towards the shin and stick your heel out. This is a Pilates flex. So when we're doing butt exercises and we're reaching back, if your toe is just kind of hanging there, your muscles are just like blah, 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 like not doing anything. But if you really flex as much as you can, stick your heel up, then that, you're gonna feel it instantly. I just felt it so much more. So flexing from the ankle is super, super important. Another example of some point, or of some feet positionings. So then the next one would be pointing those toes. So now you're reaching your toes away from your shins. Okay, so it's not just like a half like curl of the toe. That's not pointing. You want to think about point and flex coming from your ankle. So reaching that ankle really, really long. And then when we're doing things like flutter kicks, your quads are instantly way more active and you're working more full body. If your feet are just kind of like flailing, then yeah, maybe you're getting into your abs, but you could be getting a leg workout as well, so why not get the most out of it? Straighten those legs, squeeze your quads, point those toes, and you get way more out of it. Okay? Another thing I want to briefly talk about is your neck alignment. If you're in an exercise class and you're doing whatever it is, any ab exercise where you're lifting your head and you feel like your neck extensors back here are straining, then don't lift your head, because I think what tends to happen is we think that by lifting our head, neck, and shoulders, we're going to get deeper into the abdominals. But really what happens is we're just adding strain to our neck, which is going to go down into your neck, or which is going to go down into your shoulders and could cause some injuries. So even, I've been doing Pilates for 10 years, and I still keep my head down sometimes. Some people's necks just flex a little bit better, whereas mine, I just feel like it's a little tight, and sometimes I start straining, which is not worth it. You don't want inflamed neck muscles. It could go into the sternocleidomastoid in the front here and just cause a lot of yucky stuff that we don't want. So if you're in a workout class and they're saying lift your head, neck, and shoulders, and your neck is getting to a point where it hurts, do the exact same thing, just keep your head down. So that's my tip. Okay, this was a very brief video. I just wanted to talk on some of these things. I'm sure I'll make more like this, but right now that's really on my mind, stuff that I see pretty regularly in my Pilates classes. Sorry about my dog chewing on his squeaky toy right now. So thank you so much again for joining me. If you guys are interested in any other type of workouts, please check out the rest of my channel. I have ab workouts, butt workouts, stretch workouts. I'm going to do foam rolling, everything. So yeah, definitely check it out. And please know that this isn't just Pilates. I always incorporate the Pilates basic principles because I think that they really help keep your body in alignment. But I kind of do my own innovative little twist on things. I come up with things in my head, making sure that they're safe. So yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time.